Supapse markets itself as the open-source Firebase alternative, and the label undersells it badly. Firebase's bet was, delete the middle tier, trust Google's proprietary services. Supapse's bet is the opposite. The backend is Postgres, real SQL, real joins, real constraints, wrapped in instant APIs, auth, and real-time. 9 concepts. What it actually is: row-level security, the auto-generated API, the honest gaps, and the Firebase decision. Let's take the opposite bet apart. To understand Supapse, hold the Firebase episode's founding decision in mind and watch it get inverted. Firebase deleted the middle tier by building proprietary services, Firestore, its rules language, its SDK protocol, and the price was the one-way door, data shaped for one vendor's database, authorization in a language only Google runs, no SQL, ever. Supapse looked at the same goal, a weakened backend, no servers to run, and made a different wager. What if the instant backend was built around the most trusted open-source database on earth, instead of around a new proprietary one? So at the center of every Supapse project sits a genuine, unmodified Postgres database. Not Postgres-like. Not a compatible API. The actual thing, the database that has been hardened for 30 years, that your bank probably runs somewhere, with real transactions, real foreign keys, real joins, real indexes, and the entire extension ecosystem. Around that center, Supapse arranges the convenience layer. Auto-generated API is so clients can talk to the database directly, authentication that plugs into it, real-time subscriptions fed by its replication stream, file storage, and serverless functions. The pitch in one sentence: Firebase great developer experience, on a foundation you could take anywhere, because when everything else is stripped away, what you own is a Postgres database, and Postgres runs everywhere. Whether that pitch fully survives contact with production, the real-time gaps, the self-hosting reality, the places the convenience leaks, is exactly what the next 8 concepts examine. First, the foundation, and why it is Postgres changes everything. Every consequence in this episode flows from one fact, so establish it hard. A Supapse project is a Postgres database. You can connect to it with PSQL, any ORM, any BI tool, any migration framework, because it speaks the Postgres via protocol, because it is Postgres. Now enumerate what that buys, in exactly the places Firebase charges. Relational modeling, entities, foreign keys, and joins. The chatlist screen that Firestore forced you to denormalize into fanout writes is, here, one SQL query with 2 joins. Model your entities once, assemble any screen with a query. Integrity: the database enforces constraints, unique indexes, transactions. The inventory decrement problem that Firebase pushed into Cloud Functions is a single atomic statement. Queries you have not thought of yet: aggregate, group, filter on anything. The dashboard and reporting workloads that are anti-patterns on Firestore are just Tuesday for Postgres. And the extension ecosystem: PostGIS for geospatial, PG Vector for embeddings, Concept 7-star, full text search built-in, and hundreds more. Then the strategic consequence, stated plainly: your data layer is portable by construction. A Supapse project dumps to standard Postgres backup files and restores onto any Postgres anywhere. RDS, your own metal, a competitor. The convenience layer around it is open source. Compare the exits. Firebase's door was one way because the shape, the rules, and the protocol were proprietary. Supapse's door is ordinary because the core never stopped being ordinary Postgres. Everything else in this episode is convenience arranged around that fact. Concept 2. Tables become APIs, the PostGREST trick. Firebase deleted the middle tier with proprietary SDKs, Supapse deletes it with a beautifully simple open source trick, PostGREST, a server that reads your Postgres schema and exposes it as a REST API automatically, instantly. Create a table called products, and there is immediately an endpoint. Select rows with filters and ordering, insert, update, delete, all expressed as URL parameters, all translated into efficient SQL, including joins, ask for orders and, in the same request, the customer each order belongs to, and PostGREST follows the foreign key and returns nested JSON. No controller written, no route defined, no serializer maintained. The client SDK wraps this pleasantly, .from, .select, .ake, but understand what it is, a thin, readable layer over HTTP calls to your schema. To deep consequences. First, the API is derived, not built. Add a column and it is in the API. Add a table and it has endpoints. Your schema migration is your API release, which concentrates all design pressure in one place, the database, where 30 years of tooling lives. Second, and this is the question every security-minded engineer should be shouting, if clients talk directly to the database API, what stops a user from selecting everyone's rows? Nothing in this concept. Everything in the next one. The instant API is only safe because of row-level security, and the two are inseparable. PostGREST without RLS is a public database. Hold the alarm, it gets answered properly. Concept 3. The load-bearing wall, authorization inside the database. Row-level security is Postgres's native answer to the question concept raised, and it is the exact structural analog of Firebase's security rules, with two differences that matter. The mechanism, RLS policies are SQL predicates attached to tables. Enable RLS on the messages table. Write a policy. Allow select where sender ID equals the authenticated user's ID, and from that moment, every query against that table is silently filtered by that condition. A user who requests all messages receives their messages. The database itself refuses to show anyone else's rows, no matter what the client asks for. Supapse wires this to earth elegantly. The client's JWT rides along on every request, and its user ID and claims are available inside policies via helper functions. Difference 1 from Firebase rules, the language. Policies are plain SQL, testable in any Postgres, portable with your database, reviewable by anyone who reads SQL, not a proprietary rules dialect that exists in one vendor's runtime. Difference 2. Policies apply at the database, so they also protect you from your own server-side bugs, not just from malicious clients. Now the same honest warning the Firebase episode carried, because the failure mode is identical, RLS is opt-in per table. A table without RLS enabled, exposed through the instant API, is public. Supapse shouts about this in the dashboard, and scanners still find open projects every month. The discipline transfers verbatim, enable RLS on every exposed table, default deny, write policies before real data, and test them like code. Different vendor, same commandment, the policies are the backend. Concept 4. Real-time, where the honest comparison gets uncomfortable. Here is the concept where Supapse's marketing and its reality need separating, because real-time, like Firebase, oversells. What Supapse real-time actually is, 3 features over WebSockets. Postgres changes, subscribe to inserts, updates, and deletes on a table, fed by Postgres's logical replication stream. Your client gets a message when rows change, filtered by RLS so users only hear about rows they could see. Broadcast, send ephemeral messages between connected clients through the server, without touching the database, cursor positions, typing indicators. Presence, shared state tracking who is online. Together they cover the standard real-time app surface, live lists, chat, collaborative indicators. Now the honest deltas against the Firebase episodes concept 3. And name them plainly, because pretending a gap away helps nobody. Offline, Firebase SDKs include a local cache, offline reads, queued writes, and automatic reconciliation, years of engineering. Supapse has no comparable built-in offline story. Connection drops mean missed change events you must refetch around, and offline writes are yours to queue. For a field app that must work in a tunnel, this is not a small gap, it may be the deciding factor. Scale shape, change feed subscriptions put load on the replication machinery, and very high subscriber counts need care. Broadcast exists precisely to keep ephemera off the database path. The fair summary: Supapse Real-Time is a solid change notification and messaging layer. Firebase Real-Time is a full sync engine. Products that need live views choose either. Products that need offline first sync still tilt Firebase. Saying that sentence, unprompted, is worth more than pretending the gap away. Halfway. The rest of the platform, to speed, with the integration twist. The remaining platform pieces, at 2 speed, with attention on the one twist that makes them more than a checklist. Auth, email, phone, magic links, and the OAuth providers, issuing standard JWTs. The twist is where identity lives. Users are rows in a Postgres schema inside your database, and every JWTs claims are readable inside our LS policies. Identity is not a separate service that your database trusts blindly. It is data, joinable data, sitting next to your tables. A policy like only members of this rows team can see it is a subquery away, because the team membership table is right there. Storage, file uploads on object storage, with a metadata catalog kept, where else, in Postgres tables, which means access control on files is, again, our LS policies. One authorization model, everywhere, in one language. Edge functions, server-side TypeScript on the Deno runtime, deployed globally, for the same 3 jobs cloud functions serve everywhere, secrets, trusted mutations, webhooks, scheduled work. Honest note, this is the platform's youngest pillar, and teams with heavy server-side needs often run their own service beside Supapse, which, because everything speaks Postgres and JWT, composes cleanly. And that is a pattern to carry out of this concept. Supapse's pieces integrate through the database, authors tables, storage metadata as tables, policies are SQL over those tables. Firebase integrated through proprietary services holding hands, Supapse integrates through one schema everything shares. Same convenience, opposite architecture, again. Concept 6. Open source and self-hostable, time to price that claim honestly. Open source and self-hostable is Supapse's headline differentiator, and it deserves an honest audit rather than applause. What is true? Every component, Postgres, PostGREST, the auth server, real-time, storage, is open source, and Supapse publishes a self-hosting setup that runs the whole stack on your infrastructure. The exit door is real, legally and technically. Now the pricing of that door. Self-hosting Supapse is not run a container, it is operating a distributed system, half a dozen services, their upgrades, their coordination, plus the part that actually bites, being your own Postgres DBA, backups tested by restoring them, replication, failover, connection pooling, vacuum tuning. The managed platform earns its fee mostly by making that invisible. Which leads to the nuance seniors carry. The value of an exit door is not that you walk through it, it is a negotiating position and the risk ceiling it creates. And there is a cheaper exit most people forget. Because the data layer is plain Postgres, you can leave Supapse's platform without self-hosting Supapse, restore the dump onto RDS, keep your schema, your RLS policies, and your SQL, and rebuild only the convenience layer, an API and auth integration, standard work with standard tools. Compare that line item to the Firebase episode's exit bill, remodel the data, rebuild rules from scratch, rewrite every client's data layer, and the difference is the entire strategic argument. Pricing shape, briefly, predictable instance-style tiers rather than per-operation billing, no N+1 read bill, and correspondingly, no pay-only for what you touch curve at tiny scale. The exit exists, price like everything else in engineering, real, and not free. Concept 7. The right place right time story, PageVector. Supapse's growth got a second engine in the AI wave, and the mechanism is worth understanding because it validates the whole architecture. The AG episodes on this channel established the pattern, chunk documents, embed them, store vectors, retrieve by similarity. The question every team faced, store vectors where? Dedicated vector databases exist, and they are another system to run, another API to learn, another thing to keep consistent with your source of truth data. PageVector is the Postgres extension that ends the debate for most teams, a vector column type, similarity operators, and approximate indexes inside the database you already have. And because Supapse is just Postgres, enabling it is one statement. Now watch the architecture pay off in ways a siloed vector store cannot. Your chunks table holds the text, the embedding, and the metadata, one row. Retrieval is SQL, similarity search with a where clause on tenant, date, or document type, the metadata filtering that the chunking episode said matters, in one query, with a join to the source document if you like. Hybrid search. Postgres full text search lives in the same engine, and RRF between the two lists is a small SQL exercise, the RRF episode, implementable in your database. And RLS applies to vector queries too. Pertinent retrieval isolation comes from the same policies guarding everything else, a multi-tenant RAG requirement that standalone vector stores make you build in application code. The honest boundary. At very large vector scale or extreme QPS, dedicated engines still win on raw ANN performance. But for the enormous middle, RAG over your product's data, next to your product's data, the vector store is just a column, is why Supapse became the AI app default. Right architecture, right decade. Concept 8. The failure modes, because the opposite bet has its own. Fairness requires this concept, because Supapse's bet has its own failure modes, and knowing a tool's edges, not just its pitch, is what using it well means. First, one database is the center of everything. Auth queries, API traffic, real-time replication, vector search, storage metadata, all of it lands on the same Postgres. That is elegant at small scale, and a scaling event later, you will meet connection limits. Poolers exist and have their own sharp edges around prepared statements and transaction modes, and workloads start contending. An analytics query can slow the API, a heavy change feed load access replication. The mitigations are classic Postgres operations, read replicas, careful indexing, moving analytics off the primary, which is to say, at scale, you are doing database engineering, the very thing the weekend pitch deferred. Second, the client direct model concentrates enormous trust in RLS, complex authorization, hierarchical teams, delegation, approval flows, becomes SQL policies of real complexity, and policy predicates run on every row of every query. A slow policy is a slow table. Many teams graduate to a hybrid, client direct for simple on-data paths, a thin API of their own for the gnarly flows, which Supapse composes with fine, but which quietly reintroduces the middle tier you deleted. Third, the ecosystem asymmetry. Firebase has a decade of mobile-first SDK polish, offline sync, and battle-tested push integration. Supapse's mobile story is younger and it's real-time, as Concept 4 admitted, is notification, not sync. None of these are fatal. All of them are the same lesson as the Firebase episode, mirrored, the founding bet. Everything through one Postgres is both the superpower and the strain line. Architecture is always both. Last one. Firebase or Supapse, the decision. The decision framework, now that both episodes are on the table. Choose Supapse when your data is relational, entities with relationships, integrity constraints, money, inventory, anything where the Firebase episode said you will fight Firestore forever. Here, it is a schema and 3 joins. When you need real queries, dashboards, reporting, ad hoc filtering, aggregates, SQL is the whole point. When exit optionality or data sovereignty is a requirement, regulated industries, agencies building for clients, anyone who has been burned, the Postgres core makes the door ordinary. When you are building AI features, PG Vector plus RLS plus SQL side hybrid search is the RAGRA default for a reason. And when your team already thinks in SQL, the skills transfer completely, in both directions. Choose Firebase when offline-first mobile sync is the product. The sync engine remains years ahead. When you are deep in Google's ecosystem, FCM push, Google sign-in, Play services, or when the product is scoped, read-heavy, screen-stable, and speed-to-ship beats every architectural consideration, the original Firebase win, still real. And remember the a la carte moves from both episodes. Firebase author FCM composes with anything. Supapse is also just Postgres plus conveniences if you only want some pieces. The comparison, compressed, they chase the same developer experience from opposite foundations. Firebase bets on proprietary services and pace in lock-in and modeling constraints. Supapse bets on Postgres and pace in single database scaling and a younger sync story. Relational data, real queries, AI features, or exit requirements, Supapse. Offline first mobile or Google ecosystem depth, Firebase. 2 sentences of architecture, 1 of decision. That is the whole comparison, done properly. That's Supapse, not a Firebase clone but the inverse wager. The backend is Postgres, the API is derived from your schema, the policies live with the data, and the exit door is ordinary because the core never stopped being ordinary. Honest gaps included, notification is not sync, and one database is one database. Watch the Firebase episode for the other side of the bet, and the RAG series for what PG Vector unlocks. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.